Please enjoy the music as your party is reached. Okay, so maybe not quite that exciting, but anyway, here we go.
Go.
Oh boy. Here we go again. Hello, super teacher. Uh-huh. Oh no, not Miss Boring. Well, tell me this. Did you lock her outside of the room? Excellent. Keep her there. Alright, what was your question? Now, well, at least that's an easy one. I'll get back to you in just a few minutes. Alright, here we go. Alright, again. So the question was, what effect does the moon have on the ocean's tides here on Earth? Well, as you probably already know, the Earth has a gravitational pull. That's the reason that I'm sitting here and I'm not floating up in the thin air in space. If the Earth didn't have a gravitational pull, I'd be floating up with the planets. What you might not have known is that the moon has a gravitational pull of its own. So anything on the moon stays on the moon. Now, the Earth's gravitational pull and the moon's gravitational pull are constantly fighting with one another. But there's only one thing that the Earth's gravitational pull cannot hold on to, and that's water. That's why water will evaporate back into the airstream and then come back down in the form of precipitation. The moon's gravitational pull and the Earth's gravitational pull are always fighting over water. So let's say I was sitting on the shores of sunny Florida. And if we're looking at the Earth, we'll say that it's in this corner over here. And we'll say that it's 6 o'clock in the morning. And the moon, though we can't probably see it because it's too light outside, is over here, right behind where I'm at. Right now, the moon's gravitational pull is pulling on the Earth's gravitational pull, and each are pulling on that water. And the moon currently is actually winning because it has the gravitational pull directly behind where I'm at. So here the waves are going to be huge and the biggest that they'll be. And that's what we call high tide. So 6 hours later, the moon comes over here, and now it's at a right angle of where I'm at, over here still in Florida. Here, the moon's gravitational pull is pulling the water sideways towards itself and not really getting anywhere. Here, the Earth has control. And so here we have what we call low tide. So 6 hours pass again, and so now it's probably about 6 o'clock at night, and the moon's over here directly in front of where I am in sunny Florida. And again here, the moon's gravitational pull is winning again, because now it's directly in front of where I am here in sunny Florida, and so the waves waves, again, are going to be huge, and the biggest that they'll be in the day. And that's, again, high tide. So we come around 6 more hours over to here. And what type of tide do you think it's going to be there? That's right, it's going to be a low tide, because, again, the moon is pulling the water sideways and really not getting anywhere. So every day we have 2 high tides and 2 low tides, with the high tides being when the moon is directly behind or in front of the place of the Earth that you're looking at, and the low tides when it's at a right angle. So there are 2 other types of tides that I want to talk about, where the moon and the sun work together to have an effect on the ocean tides. The first one happens when the moon is either new, and so we can't see any of it at all, or full, and we can see all of it. Here, the moon's gravitational pull and the sun's gravitational pull work directly together, and so they pull on the water even harder than one of them could on its own. So here, the low tide is higher than it normally would be, and the high tide is higher than it normally would be. And again, that happens twice a month when the moon is either new or full. The other type of tide is called a neap tide. A neap tide happens when the moon is 1/4 full or 3/4 full. Here, the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon are working at a 90-degree angle of each other, and so cancel each other out. So here, the low tide is lower than it normally is, and the high tide is also lower than it normally is. So again, the spring tide happens when the moon is new or full, and both tides are higher than they normally are, because the sun and the moon are working directly together. And a neap tide happens when the moon is 1/4 full or 3/4 full, and the tides are lower than they normally are, and that happens because the sun and moon are countering each other out. And one more time, we have 4 tides in a day, 2 high and 2 low, with the high being when the moon is directly behind or in front of where I am on the Earth, and the low whenever it's at a 90-degree angle. I hope that helps you understand your question just a little bit better.